this is the Talmud, also called the Jewish New Testament by some, and it did, alter some of these texts. Because like every religion, Judaism has its golden rule. Of course, there's not just ugly things in the Torah, there's also beautiful things in the Torah, words of wisdom that, we would want to pass on to our children, like love, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. That's basic stuff. Every major religion has this, thankfully. And this is, sure enough, you open up the book of Leviticus and it's right there. But by the time we get to the Talmud, those who edited the Torah and interpreted the Torah and explained to us what the Torah really means, then they change the rules. And they put an asterisk in there and they say, oh yeah, you know how it says neighbor? Well, it really means fellow religious Jewish man. That's who you're supposed to love as yourself. Non-Jews, non-religious, they don't deserve your love. And yeah, remember that part of the Torah where it says, one law shall be both for you and for the stranger who lives with you? I hear this batted a lot nowadays in regards to the refugee issue. That there should be no citizens plus and citizens minus, that everyone who lives in the land should be equal under the law. Basic stuff we think of as democratic? No. Well, yeah, it says that in the Torah? Well, nah. We need to have an asterisk there, because stranger really means convert to Orthodox Judaism. So you only need to have one set of rules for blood Jews or born Jews and Jews of choice, or Jews who converted to Judaism. But non-Jews do not have to do not fall under the same legal protections. You can have different laws discriminating against them. So yeah, it gets worse. And please, this is not only the case with Judaism. We can talk about all the other monotheistic religions at the very least. Christianity, Islam, you don't get off the hook by any means. I'm sure that we can bring someone else up here who can say the same kinds of stories about those other traditions. But we're not here to talk about those other traditions. We're talking about the Jewish state. And so today, how do we determine what is Jewish law? What do Orthodox Jews say is the determiner of Jewish law? It is this man who was, until a few years ago, on the Israeli 1 shekel bill. We no longer have 1 shekel bills, but when we once did, this man was on, his visage was on the 1 shekel bill, and this is Moses ben Maimon, or Maimonides, who lived in medieval times, medieval rabbi. And he was so revered, he is so revered that there's a famous saying about him, saying, from Moses of the Bible to Moses Maimonides, there were none greater than Moses Maimonides. Meaning, Orthodox rabbis try to reach back as far back in time to find like the most authoritative voice in the canon. And they say that after Moses, the next greatest rabbi after the lawgiver was the exegesis Maimonides. So he is the person who decides what is Jewish law and what isn't Jewish law. And what does Maimonides say about non-Jews? How should they be treated according to Orthodox Judaism? He says, do not follow the ways of the non-Jews, and do not be similar to them in clothes or hair. Segregate yourself from them. Not only that, he says, anyone who does one of these things is whipped. So corporal punishment if you follow the same customs as non-Jewish people, if you don't separate yourself. He then goes on to say how they will dominate non-Jews. Taxes they get will be that they will be sent to work with their bodies, fortifying the king's palace. Not only that, will also humiliate them. The labor they get will be that they will be despised and humbled low, and they won't raise their heads among Jews. They should be ashamed of themselves walking amongst Jewish people. Now that's, where we have some measure of control. But what about when we really get into our power? When the Jews are mightier than non-Jews, we are forbidden to permit them among us, even interim residents. When you are strong enough, when the Jews are strong enough, we don't even allow them to be second-class citizens in our country. We ethnically cleanse them. That's the law. Now, again, it's not only Maimonides who says so in medieval times. This is Israel's chief rabbi today, the rabbi of all Israel, Yitzchak Yosef. Again, no shocker here. I know you're going to You're hardly going to be surprised when I show you that he too is a chief rabbi, son of a chief rabbi. But now he is the current chief rabbi, and he said a couple years ago, according to Jewish law, it is forbidden for Gentiles to live in the land of Israel. Straight up. Again, I actually believe in free speech, even for the most racist people. I think that he has every right to express his views. I just don't think he has any right to do so when I'm paying his salary. But he says so, and he's still in power.